Well, the mosquitoes are still here. It is a sublime day. Been in the low 70s, a rarity now, already by, well, September 20th, 21st, solstice. No, equinox. You know, I can't really account for what I do all day. I do know that I worked on video. I'm about 10 days behind. I don't think it'll ever get any better. Well, it'll get better when we get into winter, where I don't have much to do anymore. So I worked on video until a little after noon. Mosquitoes are still here. I didn't go anywhere today. Oh, I worked on the toes wet terrace a little bit. Yeah, I guess for an hour. I went and mowed the connection between Toes Wet Terrace and Bog Edge Trail. Mowed down here, opened that up on my hands and knees a lot, sectioned up these things, added a bunch of sections to the burn pile there. I don't know. Days get away from me in a very pleasant way. Oh, I made peanut butter cookie dough, which reminds me I better get in there, and it's chilling. Has been for an hour and a half. Better get in there, get the oven turned on, make some cookie balls and press them with a sugared fork. I don't like fall, just for the sake that it's the end. The end is nigh. Sunlight coming in through there, man, oh man. Everything is golden now. Leaves, ferns, golden time of year, and red. What a festive little tree. My goodness. Same with this one. Pretty bedraggled. On this poor guy, we're going from bad to worse, aren't we? But I'm not worried about any of them, just as I haven't been worried about them. Little new leaves there. These are new growth. So I'm not worried about them. These are new leaves too. Those came on fairly early. So I'm not worried about any of them. They will survive the winter as they're intended to. The energy ball is intact. When she gets both balls, which I rarely let her have, it's a real time for her to strut and preen. I'm going inside to turn the oven on. You can hang around out here. All right. Well, I've killed my first ladybug, aka Asian beetles. The sound of flies is pervasive here. Flying flies. I've been down here for 15 or 20 minutes. I can't see them. They're not at the windows. They're flying. Well, at least one. And yesterday, well, the flies are coming inside. It's like they're waiting at the door, the screen door, because the sun is warming on that side and the west side now, and it's fly season. Yesterday I shagged about 24 flies off the screens of the door, the screen doors. They're on the inside. Open the door and shag them out of there. They fly off to the outside. How are they getting in? I've checked both doors. They're tight all the way around. There's no way anything. How did my first ladybug get in here? They were congregating around the outside yesterday. I don't know if I've told you, or if you remember, last winter I killed half a dozen to a dozen ladybugs all winter long, per day. And I was naive. I didn't realize they were coming in. When I would open the door, they were congregating around the screen door, probably mid-October on a sunny day. And I'd open the door to come in or go out, and in would fly a few, and I had an infestation all winter long. It finally ended of me having to kill. It didn't end abruptly. It just sort of petered out. I was down to 1 or 2 a day in March and April, and that I look back and I didn't have any more. But Jesus God, is it going to happen again? I don't want this. I don't like killing ladybugs. And I refuse to call them Asian beetles, as though there may be a different thing than our ladybugs is in our youth. It is what it is. I've got the doors closed this morning. It's already 67 degrees out. There's no wind. It's a beautiful morning, but I'm afraid to open the main doors because I'm going to let in another horde of flies. Last night, laying in bed, reading, there was one fly. He'd land, and I looked up at the light, the shade on the lamp. No, I'd tap it to make him fly out. No, he's not there. Where is? And finally, after studying half a dozen times, putting the book down, looking up, there he was, way up 5 feet above me on the wall. I thought about getting out of bed, coming out, getting the fly water and chasing him around a little bit, but when I turned off the light, finally he got the message. It's sleep time, so shut up and don't fly anymore. Maybe this is the same guy flying around here that I can't see. Isn't my life just a continual series of trauma? Well, I'm making peanut butter cookies. I'm sort of in a domestic groove right now. I realized last night as I was having my TV time, came out here and oh man, it's time to get this place organized and cleaned up. Things like making my tarted up lemonade. I'm going to share with you how I do it. It's not really a big deal, and I'm making peanut butter cookies. I'm using up the leftover dough that has been in the fridge for 3 days. They've got another 2 minutes and 55 seconds to bake. So I'm just sort of tying up loose ends that have gotten this place crowded and annoyingly busy. You hear them? I love this thing. I used to use a hand squeezer. Juice would fly out all over the place. Finally, I found one of these at the grocery store. Don't know how much it was. It didn't matter. I would have paid whatever they wanted. I think it was $5.99, something like that. I use it a lot. And I have lemons even. What I do is buy a jug of Simply Lemonade, available nationwide at your friendly local grocer. I usually have an empty, clean one, empty bottle, keep it under the sink for just this reason. Just this purpose. So this is a little bit of leftover, and I just empty some of this out of here to make room for the juice of 2 lemons. I want to shake it. Juice of 2 lemons usually amounts to about, I think, a half a cup. I've done this with 3 lemons. Ooh, that was really good. I can't drink anything like lemonade. And they say all this contains is pure filtered water, lemon juice, cane sugar, and natural flavors. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just mediocre. It needs tarting up. And for the general public, they probably think this is wonderful lemonade. Well, oh yeah. I like to cook or bake these. Recipe calls for between 8 to 10 minutes. I always bake it about a minute longer. All cookies, I find that they are improved with that little extra time. Then I get in here and root around for seeds. These lemons are usually, well, they can go from $1.50 each to 79 cents. I usually do not buy them if they're over $1. Depends on how desperate I am. But if you calculate the expense of adding fresh lemon juice, it would probably make this jug of lemonade expensive enough where most people wouldn't pay. I think I pay $3.25, I'll say, just as a round average, I think, for this jug. No, that's good enough. Then I like to spread out the pulp a little bit. It retains juice very easily. It becomes a pulpy mass that is super saturated with juice. So I like to spread it out, let it drain for another couple minutes, and I even like to scoop out pulp and put it directly into the jug because I like the pulp full of flavor. And it reminds me as I'm drinking this lemonade that it's real. Not, well, Simply Lemonade claims that it's not from concentrate and it's only, no, they don't claim it's flavored only with lemons, do they? They say other flavors. The worst abomination to me is lemonade in the powdered form that you mix up into a... I remember years ago when I had my shop, there was an entrepreneurial kid who came around on a bicycle during the summer, towing a little trailer of his lemonade fixins. And I always was very impressed with his eager, go out there and make a buck for yourself. So one day he came around to my shop. Yeah, I've been waiting to see you. Man, I'm going to buy some of your lemonade, expecting that it was going to be at least made from Minute Maid lemonade, frozen Minute Maid lemonade, which I think is probably just as good as this. I haven't had it for years, though, so I don't know. But he brought in the lemonades for me and an employee, took a sip, and oh, God, it was just like Weiler's lemonade powder out of a can. Really disappointing. I wanted to chew him out. Hey, kid, you got a captive audience here. You got a real good thing going. If you would serve real lemonade. This is shit. I will never pay you again for your lemonade. I guess there were enough people out there that weren't discerning enough. He made a business. Summer anyway. There we are. Then add in. Leave a little bit of breathing room for the lemonade to get shaken. If you fill it right up, it doesn't have any room to slosh around. Voila. Fresh, tarted up lemonade. I came to the very uncomfortable decision 3 days ago to leave the radio off. It's my only companion. I listen only to public radio. It's the only radio I trust. But this is September 23rd, and we are how many days, 40 some days away from the election. And now we've got the Supreme Court with an empty seat after Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death this past Friday, and how now it's just become an utter circus. Mitch McConnell hypocritically saying we got to appoint a new one immediately right now, when during Obama's era they went 200 and some days where he refused to let somebody be nominated, and I didn't realize it was just the Senate that elected that person, and there's a Republican majority in the Senate right now, and so all of the wheeling and the schemes and the plotting, and I just said, you know what, whatever will be, and I can't day by day be cast around from shore to shore in, oh yeah, but what about this, and this could happen, and this might happen, and those guys over there are doing, nope, I decided I can't do it. I miss listening to the radio in the mornings, especially when I get up at 5. I don't have TV. I don't have cable TV, and I don't have antenna TV. When I moved out here, I decided this way back before I moved to cut the cord on cable, use Wi-Fi for my Roku, which supplies me with Netflix and Amazon Prime, and there's plenty there. There's a wealth of really excellent television in a way we haven't had ever in the history of television. So I'm very happy with it. So nonetheless, I don't have live TV, fortunately, to tune into. So it's quiet around here, and I don't know what's going on in the political world, and I'm glad of it. All right, I'm going to repot a plant, and you're going to help me. And I bought a pot. My lovely daughter, oldest daughter, Kinsey, she's been sending photos of her anthurium that has been in bloom. And lo and behold, on Monday, I think it was, this is Wednesday, the mail delivery guy drove in our driveway. I was way down on the swamp in my hog boots, doing whatever I was doing out there, and I heard a vehicle approaching in the driveway on the gravel. Heard the vehicle moving around. I thought, well, it must be UPS or FedEx. They will just leave a package or whatever. I didn't have anything. Oh, I did have something. Kinsey told me there was something coming, and I assumed it was UPS or FedEx. He would just leave it. He began to honk. Oh, crap. Okay. So I began making my way back up here. It didn't go quickly because I'm lifting my legs over crap out there, and there he was. He had turned his car around, and Suki was up there and entertaining him until I could arrive. Anyway, he handed me this box, and I said, I wonder what this is. He said, it looks like a live plant. Set it on the outside of the box on a label. Okay, well, I know what this is then. She sent me an anthurium that I had gushed over. And there it is. And I'm going to repot it, which the pot it comes in is not intended for any long-term storage, or I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, and I don't care. You know what I'm talking about anyway. I hope it's okay to replant this into a growing medium that's got fertilizer in it. Seems like, well, I don't know. I haven't found anything without fertilizer in it. All right. Wish I had some stones to put in there. Well, I do. You know, actually, outside in the stones like those. And the instructions for repotting this say, put the plant in at the same level that it was in its original pot, so that you're not covering up things, whatever part of the plant is at the top and used to being out in the air. Get out of here. Must have heard that fly. It came right up next to the camera. The instructions say this plant wants lots of light, but not direct sunlight. That looks fine. So I'm going to have to put this in the north window. One with the blue tape around the part that I've finished with the clear acrylic. I got to do the rest of these windows before winter because they've been raw bare wood for 2 winters now, and they're molding. A lot of moisture in this house, and there seems to still be. The first winter we had heavy ice build up on the lower corners, upper corners, and it was quite something. We ran a dehumidifier all of December and into after the new year, and it drove the electric bill sky high. I finally said, enough of this. And last winter was not as bad. They shouldn't sweat anyway. I don't know why they are. They're thermal pane, double pane. There should be no condensation on them at all. I even tried the first winter. After all the condensation, I thought, well, I'm going to put 3M window plastic up. Didn't seem to make a bit of difference on how much condensation formed inside the plastic. So to hell with it. There's mold on the beams in the bedroom, quite significant. And Chuck told me, well, we got to get that out of there. I don't know how to get it out of there, and I'm not of a mind to do that. To hell with it. I guess that's going to have to do. Yeah. Sticks and stones. Okay. Go on to. You can't make me. I had an idea yesterday, the day before, well, a few weeks ago, that I didn't act on. But I've got these buckets I use. Oops. That bucket needs to be retired. I use these for bringing in firewood. And before they did firewood duty, they did garden growing duty, as in tomato plants, pepper plants, out in the yard in Wisconsin. Brand new buckets. When they were brand new, I drilled holes in the bottom for drainage, because these buckets were for growing vegetables in, not for hauling firewood. But now I'm not growing vegetables, I'm growing firewood. So a few weeks ago I thought, I should plug those holes. You bring in firewood in, and they always get sawdust and debris and crap that falls through the holes out onto the floor. And I have to vacuum more often than I would like. Duh, let's plug the holes. I thought of some rubber plugs that you can buy at Ace Hardware in those little pull-out drawers in their Hillman aisle, all the fasteners aisle. Well, I could push them in from above, but that's kind of overkill and expensive. Yesterday I thought, use Gorilla Tape on it. Just cut out some tape and plug the holes with Gorilla Tape. If you haven't heard of Gorilla Tape, you've been living in Uzbekistan probably, or Bulgaria, where they don't have such finery. Gorilla Tape comes in I'm yelling, aren't I? I'm sorry. Gorilla Tape comes in 2-inch rolls, so the typical usual like duct tape width, and it comes in this width. That's 1 inch, I think. I'm not going to measure it and tell you exactly, but I keep that in the drawer here, and anytime I need it, I know where it's at, and I need to buy more. I've had this for 4 years. The roll is about that big to start with. It's like Velcro. It's a household staple. And you cut off a little length, and then I cut off just a little. See, the round bottom of the bucket, I can't get this right up, so I cut off just a little wedge. I gave up on trying to round it. No, you don't need to do that. The problem with tape, cutting tape or cutting sticky Velcro, is it always gets the scissor blades gunked up. And when I'm done, I use a little bit of lighter fluid soaked into a paper towel, and off it comes. Who's first? And I decided I could put it on from underneath, or I could put it on from on top, which has more likelihood of staying put. Gravity isn't much of a factor here because this is very light. And I decided put it on the underside. Because if you put it on the inside, it's going to get abraded by firewood over time, which, it's not going to wear it out. But why not do it the best place to begin with? So you put your tape on. No, I don't like that. So it's a perfect late September day to have a fire and tape the holes in your firewood buckets. Gorilla Tape, by the way, has super sticky adhesive. You put it on, it'll dry out after a year or two, especially if it's outside. It will lose its adhesion, but for a job like this, it works beautifully. Suki really likes it when I join her in the TV room, don't you, sweetie? She hasn't said so, but I can read body English. And every so often she gets tired of the hubbub, the noise. I can't believe that's really a problem, but she gets up and goes into the bedroom to her kennel where it's more private. She does it again. Comes running from behind me. I watched her walking along there. I looked away for a moment and she disappeared. Well, she's got to be back in the woods in there to go poo. But no, she made her way all the way around and came that way. Oh, doggy.
That's it for this time. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button. See you next time.